This audiobook guides you into the mystical truth. You can rewire your mind and command the universe itself. As you listen, you'll awaken to the law that what you believe, you receive. Your thoughts are seeds. Plant them with intention and watch miracles unfold. Rewire your mind. Introduction. Within the hidden chambers of your mind lies a kingdom of boundless power waiting for your command. The thoughts you entertain are not fleeting shadows. They are sacred architects weaving the fabric of your tomorrows. Ancient sages whispered this truth. Your consciousness is a magnet, drawing into the very essence of what you dwell upon. The law of attraction moves with silent exactness, responding to the vibrational song of your thoughts and feelings. Like a tuning fork resonating with unseen harmonies, your mind calls forth experiences that mirror its frequency. To grasp this is to hold the master key to transforming all that you are and all that you shall become. Your subconscious, vast as the eternal sea, accepts every impression with perfect obedience. It does not question, it only creates, whether from the seeds of limitation or from the seeds of abundance. This is why the deliberate choosing of thought becomes your most potent art, shaping destiny with invisible hands. At first you may feel the tremor of awe, even fear, as you glimpse the swiftness with which life rearranges itself in answer to aligned thought and emotion. Do not mistake this feeling for danger. It is the herald of awakening, the reminder that you are the sculptor of reality itself. Through the sacred rhythm of affirmations, you carve new pathways in the hidden realms of your mind. Each word, spoken with faith, plants a living seed that blossoms into opportunity, harmony, and abundance. And as the inner world bends to your will, the outer world must follow, for this is the unchanging law of mind. Every thought you hold carries a pulse of living energy, a signature that commands creation. To master this current is to step into your true inheritance, the role of conscious creator, weaving the unseen into the seen. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. Part 1. The Foundation of Thought. Chapter 1. The Hidden Key of Belief. In the ancient city of Persia, there lived a talented weaver named Lucinda, whose tapestries held unmatched beauty. Yet, despite her remarkable skill, she lived in poverty, constantly haunted by thoughts of unworthiness. "Who would want my work?" she would whisper to herself each morning. "I'm not good enough." Day after day, her creations remained hidden in the shadows of her modest dwelling, unseen by the world. The universe speaks through your beliefs, creating a mirror that reflects back precisely what you hold to be true. Your subconscious mind, like an ever-faithful servant, accepts without question the instructions you give it through your deepest convictions. When you declare, "I can't," it dutifully arranges circumstances to prove you right. When you proclaim, "I already am," it works with equal diligence to manifest that reality. The story of Grover, a humble merchant from the western lands, reveals this truth in action. For years, he struggled to make ends meet, his small shop barely surviving. His mind was filled with thoughts of lack. Business will never improve. Customers always choose my competitors. I'm destined to struggle. One day, an old sage visited his shop and shared a simple truth. Your thoughts are seeds planted in the fertile soil of the universe. What you believe, you receive. This wisdom struck Grover's heart like lightning. That very evening, he began speaking to himself differently. I am a magnet for abundance. Customers are naturally drawn to my shop. Success flows to me effortlessly. Within weeks, his shop transformed. New customers appeared as if by magic. Opportunities for expansion arose unexpectedly. His wealth grew with such rapidity that many called it miraculous. But Grover understood. He had simply aligned his beliefs with the abundance he desired. Your beliefs are not mere thoughts. They are commands to the universe. When Lucinda finally recognized that her self-doubt was the only barrier between her and success, she began displaying her tapestries in the marketplace. Soon her work adorned the walls of nobles, and her name became synonymous with excellence. These stories mirror your own journey. The beliefs you hold today are creating your tomorrow. Every thought of limitation or possibility becomes a blueprint for your future. The subconscious mind, that faithful architect of experience, builds exactly what you believe to be true. To harness this power, embrace this timeless practice. Each evening, as the day draws to a close, find a quiet moment. Speak aloud with deep feeling and conviction. My life rearranges itself in perfect harmony with my desires. Let these words resonate in your being, knowing that as you speak them, the universe begins its work of manifestation. Your belief becomes the catalyst for transformation, setting in motion forces beyond your current understanding. Chapter 2. The Magnetic Nature of Emotion. In a village among rolling hills, there lived a woman named Henrietta, whose dreams of opening a healing center were continuously thwarted by her own fierce anger. Each setback fueled her rage, creating a storm that pushed her desires further from reach. Her emotions became chains, binding her to a cycle of frustration and disappointment. You too may recognize this pattern within yourself, the way certain emotions seem to block the very things you seek to manifest. Yet what appears as an obstacle contains hidden wisdom. Your emotions are not barriers to be overcome, but rather sophisticated instruments of navigation, each feeling offering guidance about your alignment with universal forces. When you approach life with joy and gratitude, you emit vibrations that resonate with the highest frequencies of creation. These emotions act as magnetic forces, drawing to you experiences that match their nature. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, cannot help but respond to your emotional signature, reflecting back circumstances of similar quality. Consider the transformation of Vernon, a merchant whose heart had grown bitter from years of perceived betrayals. His resentment cast a shadow over every interaction, poisoning potential partnerships and souring promising ventures. Yet, in one profound moment of clarity, he realized the weight of the burden he carried. "I release all resentment," he declared one morning, choosing instead to focus on appreciation for what remained good in his life. The shift was immediate and remarkable. Colleagues who had grown distant suddenly reached out with opportunities. Business relationships that had been strained began to flow with renewed ease. His decision to abandon resentment created ripples of harmony that touched every aspect of his existence. This truth stands eternal. Your emotional state is not merely a response to life. It is a creative force that shapes your reality. When Henrietta finally understood this principle, She began treating her anger not as an enemy, but as a messenger pointing toward needed change. She learned to transmute her fierce energy into passionate dedication to her healing work. Within months, her center opened its doors, becoming a sanctuary of transformation for others walking similar paths. Your emotions hold this same power. Each feeling that rises within you carries intelligence, showing you where adjustment is needed in your alignment with universal forces. Through conscious emotional mastery, you command the very fabric of manifestation. To harness this wisdom, embrace this ancient practice. As the first light of dawn breaks across the sky, find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Take 3 deep breaths, allowing your awareness to settle into your heart center. Now, bring to mind 3 specific things that fill you with genuine gratitude. Perhaps it's the warmth of sunlight on your face, the loyalty of a dear friend, or the abundance of your next meal. Feel each blessing deeply, allowing appreciation to build until your heart vibrates with warmth. Let this practice become your daily offering to the universe, knowing that the frequency of gratitude you generate will return to you multiplied in countless forms. Chapter 3. The Power of Focus. In the quiet chambers of an ancient temple, Winifred spent countless hours dwelling on her worries. Each fear she entertained grew like shadows at dusk, stretching longer and darker across the landscape of her mind. Her attention, a precious resource, nourished these shadows until they dominated her inner world. This universal truth now unveils itself to you. Your focus acts as water to the garden of your existence. That which receives your attention flourishes, whether it brings light or darkness. The power of your concentrated thought shapes reality with the precision of a master sculptor's chisel. The universe responds not to your wishes, but to the steady stream of your attention. When you fix your gaze upon lack, scarcity multiplies. When you behold beauty, grace unfolds before you. This is the sacred law that governs all creation. Energy flows where attention goes. Witness the tale of Elmer, a merchant whose ledgers showed mounting debts. Each morning he would count his losses, measuring the growing distance between himself and prosperity. His focus, trained exclusively on what was missing, acted as a magnet drawing more of the same. Then came the dawn when wisdom touched his heart. Instead of tallying debts, he began noting opportunities. Where others saw closed doors, he trained his eyes to discover hidden passages. His attention, once fixated on scarcity, now danced with possibilities. As if by magic, though it was law, not magic, money began flowing toward him. A chance meeting led to a profitable partnership. An overlooked venture yielded unexpected returns. What has changed? Only the direction of his focus, yet this shift transformed everything. The same power dwells within you. Your attention is the most potent tool you possess for shaping reality. Each thought you hold steadily in your mind becomes a seed planted in the fertile soil of possibility. The universe, responding to your focused energy, nurtures these seeds into manifestation. This wisdom calls you to make your focus a sacred act of creation. Let your attention rest upon what you wish to cultivate, not what you wish to avoid. When shadows of doubt arise, redirect your gaze toward the light of possibility. To strengthen this power within you, embrace this timeless practice. Set aside 10 minutes each day, preferably as the sun rises. Choose one uplifting thought, perhaps I am surrounded by infinite abundance, or joy flows to me effortlessly. When your mind wanders, as it naturally will, gently guide it back to this chosen thought. Like a shepherd tending their flock, return again and again to this single point of focus. Through this practice, you train your attention to become a force of creation rather than a servant of circumstance. Chapter 4. Words that Build Worlds. In a bustling marketplace, Opal conducted her daily business, weaving through the stalls while muttering familiar phrases. Nothing ever works out. Life is such a struggle. Why does everything cost so much? These words flowed from her lips as naturally as breath, seeming harmless in their familiarity. Yet the universe listens with unfailing precision. Your words are not mere sounds dispersing into the air. They are bridges connecting your conscious thoughts to the vast reservoir of your subconscious mind. Each phrase you utter becomes a command, a sacred instruction to the universal forces that shape your reality. The ancient masters understood this profound truth. Language holds the power of creation itself. When you speak, you are not describing your world, you are creating it. Your words become the architect's blueprints from which the universe builds your experience. Just as a garden responds to the quality of water it receives, your life responds to the quality of words you pour into it. Negative declarations act as poison, while empowering statements become life-giving water. This is not metaphor, but law. Consider the transformation of Rufus, a craftsman whose workshop echoed daily with his lament, "Life is hard." These three simple words formed an invisible barrier between him and the abundance that sought to reach him. Customers hesitated at his door, opportunities passed him by, and solutions remained hidden from his view. One morning, touched by inner wisdom, he changed his declaration. "Life supports me," he began whispering as he worked. At first, the words felt foreign on his tongue, yet he persisted. Within days, a stranger appeared, offering partnership. A week later, an old client returned with a substantial commission. The universe, ever faithful to our declarations, began rearranging circumstances to match his new proclamation. This power resides in your voice as well. Every word you speak sets in motion forces beyond your current understanding. Your casual complaints are not casual at all. They are commands to the universe, shaping your reality with precise and unwavering accuracy. The ancient practice handed down through generations now calls to you. Transform every sentence into an affirmation of your highest destiny. When worry about money rises, declare, "Abundance flows to me through expected and unexpected channels." When health concerns surface, proclaim, "My body knows how to heal and restore itself perfectly." When relationships challenge you, assert, "I attract harmonious connections that support my growth." Let every word that passes your lips become a conscious act of creation. The universe awaits your commands with infinite patience and perfect responsiveness. Speak as though your words carry the power of life itself, because they do. Sacred practice. Throughout this day, catch yourself before speaking any word of lack or limitation. Transform each thought into an empowering declaration. Replace "I can't afford it" with "I am aligned with infinite abundance." Turn "I'm so tired" into "I am filled with vibrant energy." Let every sentence end in possibility, power, and promise. Your words are seeds. Plant only those you wish to harvest. Chapter 5. The Rhythm of Imagination. In a village among ancient hills, Eudora spent her days weaving tapestries, each thread colored by her persistent worries. Night after night, she wove scenes of loss, scarcity, and isolation into the fabric of her thoughts. With each passing season, these imagined troubles grew more vivid, more real, until they seemed to leap from her mind into the world around her. The universe speaks in the language of imagination. Your mind, that sacred vessel of creation, knows not the difference between what is vividly imagined and what is experienced in the physical realm. Like a master gardener tending to seeds, your imagination nurtures the reality that will bloom tomorrow. When you replay scenes of worry in your mind, you water the very weeds you wish to eliminate. The subconscious mind, that faithful servant, accepts these mental rehearsals as instructions for manifestation. It matters not whether you imagine triumph or tribulation. The power of your imagination will work to make it so. This truth became clear through Silas, a merchant who had lost connection with his family through years of misunderstanding. Each morning, he began imagining joyful reunions with his estranged children. In his mind's eye, he saw their smiling faces, felt their warm embraces, heard their laughter echoing through his home. He did not simply wish for reconciliation. He lived it in his imagination until the feeling of love and connection became more real than the separation. Within months, bridges long thought burned began to rebuild themselves. A letter arrived from his daughter. His son appeared unexpectedly at his door. The scenes he had rehearsed in his imagination manifested with such precision that it seemed as though the universe had simply been waiting for his inner vision to align with his desires. Your imagination is not mere fantasy. It is the blueprint from which your reality is built. When you consistently imagine scenarios filled with joy, abundance, and love, you are not escaping reality. You are creating it. The images you hold in your mind become the mold into which the universe pours its infinite substance. The ancient practice passed down through generations teaches, before you rest your head upon your pillow each night, create a sacred space of imagination. Let your mind's eye paint the picture of your desired life in vivid detail. Feel the emotions that this reality brings, the joy, the peace, the sense of fulfillment. Allow these feelings to wash over you until they become as natural as breathing. Do this not as an exercise in wishful thinking, but as a deliberate act of creation. For in these moments between wakefulness and sleep, when your conscious mind grows quiet, the seeds of tomorrow are planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious. Chapter 6. The Current of Desire. In a small village among ancient hills, Prudence spent her days tending to her modest garden, always careful to keep her dreams as small as her plot of land. While others spoke of grand adventures and abundant fortunes, she would quickly avert her eyes, believing that wanting more was a path to disappointment. Each night, as she lay beneath her worn blanket, her heart whispered of possibilities, a thriving business, a home filled with warmth, a life overflowing with purpose. Yet she pushed these thoughts away, convinced that contentment meant accepting less than what her soul yearned for. The universe speaks through desire, and each dream that stirs within you carries the seed of its own fulfillment. Your wants are not random wishes, but divine blueprints encoded in your very being. When you silence your desires, you mute the voice of life itself seeking expression through you. In the realm of infinite possibility, desire acts as your spiritual compass, pointing toward the experiences your soul has chosen for its expansion. The feeling of wanting more is not greed. It is growth calling you forward. Each desire carries within it the energy of its own manifestation, waiting only for your permission to unfold. In a distant marketplace, Ambrose wrestled with similar fears. For years, he denied his dream of becoming a master craftsman, believing such aspirations were beyond his station. Yet, one morning, as he watched the sun paint the sky in brilliant hues, he realized that if the universe could create such magnificent displays, surely it could work through his hands to create beauty as well. The moment Ambrose embraced his desire, events began arranging themselves in mysterious ways. An old craftsman appeared seeking an apprentice. Materials arrived through unexpected channels. Skills emerged as though remembered rather than learned. His permission to want more had unlocked a flow of abundance that defied logical explanation. Your desires are not random impulses. They are the universe's way of guiding you toward your highest expression. When you honor your deepest wants, you align with the creative force that shapes worlds. Fear of wanting too much is fear of your own divine nature. The ancient practice of desire writing awaits your participation. Each morning, as the world still slumbers, take a pen in hand and write one deep desire without judgment or limitation. Speak it aloud as though it already exists, feeling its reality in every cell of your being. This is not mere wishing. It is claiming what the universe has already prepared for you. This practice, passed down through generations of wisdom keepers, aligns your energy with the natural flow of abundance. As you declare your desires with conviction, you give the universe clear instructions for manifestation. Each word spoken becomes a seed planted in fertile soil, each affirmation a step toward your destined path. Chapter 7. Letting Go of Resistance. In a small village among rolling hills, Clara May toiled in her garden from dawn until dusk. Each day she pushed against the unyielding earth with increasing force, determined to make her flowers grow faster, taller, more vibrant than nature intended. Her hands grew calloused, her back ached, and still she fought against time itself, believing that only through constant struggle could beauty emerge. Yet the more she forced, the more her garden seemed to resist her will. Flowers wilted under her demanding care, roots withered beneath her anxious attention. Her determination had become a weapon turned against herself, and against the very life she sought to nurture. The universe speaks in whispers, not in shouts. When you strain against its current, you exhaust your spirit needlessly. Like a leaf fighting against the stream, you expend precious energy resisting the very flow that would carry you to your destination. Consider how water moves around obstacles, never forcing its way through stone, yet eventually reshaping mountains. This is the way of allowing. When you release your grip on how things must unfold, you open yourself to possibilities beyond your limited vision. Ebenezer, a merchant who had long struggled to expand his trade routes, discovered this truth in an unexpected moment of surrender. For years, he had pushed aggressively into new markets, forcing connections, demanding results. His efforts left him exhausted and his business stagnant. One morning, sitting in quiet desperation, he finally loosened his hold on his rigid plans. Instead of forcing his way forward, he began listening to the natural rhythm of trade. He followed subtle suggestions, welcomed unexpected introductions, and trusted in timing he didn't control. Within months, his business flowed into new territories with an ease that astonished him. Opportunities appeared as if by magic, though they had always been there, waiting for him to stop pushing long enough to notice them. What you resist will persist until you embrace it. This is not passive acceptance of circumstances you wish to change, but rather a wise acknowledgement that struggle often signals misalignment with the natural flow of life. When you find yourself pushing too hard, pause. Feel where you are creating unnecessary resistance. The universe's abundance moves like a mighty river. You need not force your way upstream when the current itself wishes to carry you toward your dreams. Your only task is to align yourself with its flow. Throughout your day, whisper these words of power. I allow my good to come easily. Feel your body soften with each utterance. Notice how your shoulders relax, how your breath deepens, how life begins to move through you rather than against you. This is the beginning of true power, not in forcing, but in flowing. Chapter 8. The Mirror of the Subconscious. In the quiet hills beyond the bustling marketplace, a lone farmer named Hazel toiled endlessly on her land. Despite her unwavering dedication, her crops seemed to wither, and her animals appeared restless. Night after night, she would whisper to herself, "Nothing ever works out for me," unaware that these words were seeds taking root in the fertile soil of her subconscious mind. The hidden truth lies not in the outer circumstances, but in the stories we tell ourselves in the depths of our being. Your subconscious mind, like an infinite mirror, reflects back precisely what has been etched upon its surface through repeated thoughts and beliefs. When you gaze into still water, you see not just your face, but the accumulated reflection of every thought you've ever believed about yourself. The law of reflection operates with unwavering precision. Your outer world must match your inner vision. Whatever image you hold of yourself becomes the template from which the universe creates your experience. This ancient wisdom reveals why two people facing identical circumstances often meet vastly different outcomes. Consider the tale of Virgil, a merchant whose shop stood empty for years. Each morning, he would touch the dusty shelves and remember his father's words. Business is a game for others, not for us. This story, buried deep within, manifested as his daily reality until one transformative dawn. That morning, instead of reciting his familiar lament, he chose to see himself differently. "I am as capable as any successful merchant," he declared to his reflection. Within days, a mysterious shift occurred. New customers appeared, seemingly guided by an invisible hand. Opportunities emerged that had always existed, but remained unseen through his previous lens of unworthiness. His transformation wasn't in his methods, it was in his self-image. The universe simply adjusted its reflection to match his inner picture. This revelation unlocks a powerful truth. Your circumstances are not random events, but precise reflections of your subconscious beliefs. When you change the image within, the outer world must realign to mirror this new vision. The universe operates not through judgment, but through perfect reflection. The mirror of your subconscious holds no bias. It simply shows what you have impressed upon it. Your task is not to fight against the reflection, but to change the image being reflected. This understanding liberates you from the endless struggle against circumstances and redirects your energy toward the true point of power, your inner vision. Sacred practice. Each evening, stand before a mirror, smile gently and affirm, "I see myself as worthy and capable, and the world reflects this truth." Chapter 9. Harmony with the Invisible. In a small cottage among rolling hills, Ida counted the hours she poured into her work. Dawn to dusk, she toiled, her hands perpetually busy, yet prosperity seemed to drift further away with each passing season. The harder she pushed, the more life appeared to resist her efforts. The ancient wisdom speaks of an eternal flow, a current of harmony that moves through all things, like a great river carrying countless vessels to their destination. This universal force guides those who learn to trust its motion. Yet in our determination to control outcomes through sheer force of will, we often row against its current, exhausting ourselves while making little progress. When you align with this invisible stream, doors open effortlessly. Opportunities arise not through struggle, but through surrender to a higher intelligence that orchestrates events beyond our limited vision. This is not passive waiting, but active receptivity, a state of alert awareness combined with deep trust in the perfect timing of the universe. Consider the tale of Leland, a merchant who wrestled with his trade for 20 years. Each morning he would rise before the sun, meticulously planning every detail of his business. Yet success remained elusive, slipping through his fingers like water. One day, while resting beneath an old oak tree, he witnessed how effortlessly birds found their sustenance, how naturally flowers turned toward light. In that moment, something shifted within him. Instead of forcing his path, he began acknowledging the subtle guidance that had always surrounded him. He started each day by quieting his mind and listening for inner promptings. When a thought arose to visit a different market, he followed it without questioning. When urged to speak with a stranger, he trusted the impulse. Within months, his business transformed. Chance meetings became profitable partnerships. Wrong turns led to unexpected opportunities. What appeared as coincidence revealed itself as invisible orchestration. The very forces he had resisted became his greatest allies. Your struggles may appear necessary, yet they often signal misalignment with this universal flow. When you release the need to control every outcome, you open yourself to assistance beyond your imagination. The universe operates through infinite channels, most invisible to human eyes. Your role is not to direct this flow, but to align with its natural movement. This truth unveils itself in your life when you recognize that effort alone is not the path to fulfillment. The greatest achievements often come not from pushing harder, but from aligning more deeply with the invisible currents that guide all things toward their highest good. Ancient practice. Whisper daily before any task, "I work in harmony with the unseen forces that guide me," and watch for subtle synchronicities. Chapter 10. The Seed Principle. In a small village among rolling hills, there lived a woman named Minerva, who spent her days crafting beautiful tapestries. Despite her dedication and countless hours of work, she felt an overwhelming sense of despair. Each morning, she would examine her progress, only to find that the intricate patterns seemed to grow at an agonizingly slow pace. This truth lies at the heart of all creation. Every manifestation begins as an invisible seed, gestating in the fertile soil of consciousness before breaking through into physical form. Just as a mighty oak slumbers within an acorn, your desires exist first in the unseen realm before emerging into tangible reality. The universe operates through divine timing, moving with a wisdom that transcends human impatience. Your role is not to force the flower to bloom, but to nurture the soil of your consciousness, where possibility takes root. The law of gestation governs all creation, from thoughts to things, from dreams to destiny. Consider the story of Jasper, a humble gardener who dreamed of creating a sanctuary of healing herbs. While others rushed to harvest, he understood the sacred rhythm of growth. Each day he would tend his garden with unwavering faith, speaking to the seeds beneath the soil as if they were already flourishing plants. Others mocked his empty plots, but Jasper remained steadfast in his vision. As seasons turned, something remarkable occurred. Where others hastily planted gardens withered, Jasper's patience bore extraordinary fruit. His herbs grew with unusual vigor, possessing healing properties that drew people from distant lands. His success emerged not from forcing growth, but from honoring the invisible stages of creation. This ancient wisdom speaks directly to your journey. When you plant a seed, you do not dig it up each day to check its progress. Such interference would only disrupt its natural unfoldment. Similarly, your desires require sacred space to develop in the unseen realms before manifesting in physical form. The universe moves with perfect precision, orchestrating circumstances beyond your current awareness. Your work lies not in controlling the process, but in maintaining unwavering faith in the invisible operations of divine law. Every thought you hold with conviction, every feeling you nurture with patience, grows steadily toward manifestation, even when your physical eyes detect no movement. Practice. Each day, imagine yourself planting seeds of life, whispering, "This vision grows even when I cannot see it." This ritual acknowledges the sacred process of creation while affirming your trust in divine timing. Let this practice remind you that the greatest transformations often begin in silence, beneath the surface of visible reality. Part 2. The Expansion of Awareness. Chapter 11. The Alchemy of Gratitude. In a quiet village by the sea lived a woman named Dorcas, whose heart had grown heavy with disappointment. Each morning she would wake to catalogue her misfortunes, letting memories of past hurts poison her present moments. Her mind had become a chamber of echoes, each perceived slight and setback amplifying until they drowned out life's sweeter notes. Yet, within this pattern lies a profound truth. Gratitude holds the power to transmute even the darkest experiences into golden opportunities for growth. This ancient wisdom teaches that appreciation acts as an alchemical force, capable of transforming the lead of circumstance into the gold of possibility. When you choose gratitude, you activate a universal law that magnifies whatever you acknowledge with thanks. This is not about denying pain or pretending hardship doesn't exist. Rather, it's about recognizing that within every experience lies a seed of expansion, waiting to be watered by your conscious appreciation. Think of gratitude as a lens through which you view your world. Whatever you focus on through this lens begins to multiply, as though the universe itself responds to your recognition. Each thank you becomes a magnetic force, drawing more reasons for appreciation into your field of experience. Consider the tale of Cornelius, a merchant who lost everything in a great storm. Instead of surrendering to despair, he began a simple practice. Each evening, he would write 3 things for which he felt grateful, sometimes as simple as the warmth of sunlight or the taste of clean water. At first, this felt mechanical, even foolish. But as days passed, something shifted. He noticed small blessings appearing, a chance encounter leading to a new opportunity, an unexpected refund, a forgotten debt repaid. These coincidences multiplied until his life overflowed with such abundance that his previous losses seemed like stepping stones to greater prosperity. This transformation occurred not because Cornelius denied his difficulties, but because he refused to let them become his entire story. His gratitude created an opening through which new possibilities could enter. The universe responded to his appreciation by providing more experiences worthy of thanks. This wisdom reveals that gratitude is not merely a response to good fortune. It is the very force that creates it. When you choose to give thanks, even in challenging moments, you alter the energetic frequency of your experience. Your appreciation becomes a declaration to the universe, stating clearly, "I am ready to receive more of this." Practice. Before sleep, place your hand on your heart and softly say, "Thank you for the blessings unseen and those revealed." Feel the warmth of appreciation flowing through your being, knowing that each expression of gratitude plants seeds of greater abundance in your tomorrow. Chapter 12. The Spiral of Thought. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, Mabel stood before her empty shop, watching the same scene unfold as it had countless times before. Each morning brought familiar worries, each afternoon held identical struggles, and every evening closed with the same unfulfilled dreams. Like water circling a drain, her thoughts traced the same path day after day, creating a visible pattern in her outer world. This phenomenon reveals one of the universe's most potent mysteries. Your thoughts move in spirals, each loop gathering momentum until it manifests in physical form. These thought patterns act as invisible architects, designing the blueprint of your daily experience. When left unchecked, they create a self-fulfilling prophecy, drawing you deeper into their familiar orbit. You might notice these spirals in your own life, relationships that echo previous ones, financial situations that seem eerily familiar, or opportunities that slip away in predictable patterns. These are not coincidences, but rather the natural result of thoughts moving in established grooves, like water following the path of least resistance. Yet within this truth lies extraordinary power. Just as a spiral can draw you downward, it can also lift you upward, depending on the direction you choose to spin your thoughts. The key lies not in fighting against established patterns, but in gently redirecting their flow. This wisdom found its perfect expression in Sylvester, a craftsman whose workshop had grown silent over the years. Each setback reinforced his inner narrative of failure until it became a self-fulfilling prophecy. But one morning, he discovered the secret of interruption. Instead of allowing his thoughts to follow their usual descent, he paused, took a deep breath, and consciously chose a new direction. With patient practice, he replaced each thought of inadequacy with a vision of mastery. Where he once saw endless struggle, he began to picture smooth execution. His inner dialogue shifted from "nothing ever works out" to "each moment brings new possibility." Gradually, his outer world began to mirror this inner transformation. New clients appeared. His work flowed with greater ease, and opportunities emerged as if by magic. The spiral had not disappeared. It had simply changed direction. The same force that once pulled him down now lifted him up, each positive thought building upon the last until success became his natural state. This ancient teaching shows that patterns persist not because they are destined, but because they remain uninterrupted. The power to change any cycle lies in that precise moment of awareness when you recognize the loop and consciously choose a different response. Practice. Interrupt each negative loop with a gentle phrase, "I choose again." Then redirect the thought upward. Chapter 13. Faith as Substance. In a small cottage among ancient trees, Geneva stood before her window, questioning every dream that lacked physical proof. Her hands traced the cold glass as she watched the morning mist, wondering why some believed so easily in what they could not touch. The universe operates through an eternal principle. Everything in physical form begins as an invisible substance. Just as a mighty oak exists first in the unseen potential of a seed, your desires already exist in the realm of pure energy before taking shape in your world. This invisible substance is what the wise ones call faith, not blind belief, but the tangible essence of creation itself. Think of the air you breathe. Though invisible, it sustains life. Consider gravity, unseen yet undeniably real. These forces remind you that the most powerful elements often escape physical sight. Your faith operates by this same principle, transforming energy into matter through the alchemy of expectation. You may question, as Geneva did, how something unseen could possibly manifest in your tangible world. Yet this doubt itself carries a frequency that shapes your experience. When you understand that faith is not mere hoping, but rather the actual substance of things desired, you begin to work with universal law rather than against it. Orville's story shines light on this truth. When illness struck, medical reports painted a grim picture, yet instead of accepting these external verdicts, he chose to nurture an unwavering inner knowing of his wholeness. Each morning, despite physical evidence to the contrary, he felt the vitality of perfect health flowing through his body. He spoke of his healing as though it were already complete, letting his faith become the bridge between possibility and manifestation. Weeks passed, and subtle shifts began occurring. His energy improved, symptoms lessened, and gradually his body aligned with his inner vision. When doctors later expressed amazement at his recovery, they spoke of medical mysteries. But Orville understood his faith had been the invisible substance that preceded his physical healing. This principle works ceaselessly in your life, whether you recognize it or not. Your dominant beliefs about what is possible become the invisible blueprint for what manifests. Faith is not opposed to reason. It is the higher reason that understands how energy becomes formed. Just as a sculptor sees the finished statue within an uncarved block of marble, your faith sees the completed manifestation within the unformed energy of potential. This seeing is not imagination. It is recognition of what already exists in the realm of pure possibility. waiting for your faith to draw it into physical expression. Practice. Speak slowly each morning. My faith is the invisible substance of my visible good. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Art of Surrender. In a village among ancient hills, Agatha lived each moment gripped by worry. Her hands held life so tightly that her knuckles turned white with strain. Each morning she woke before dawn to plan every detail of her day, creating elaborate lists and backup plans for her backup plans. No leaf could fall in her garden without her permission. No meal could be cooked without precise measurement. Yet despite her meticulous control, peace eluded her like morning mist slipping through desperate fingers. The universe operates through an intelligence far beyond human comprehension. This wisdom flows like a mighty river, carrying all of creation toward its highest good. When you attempt to control every aspect of your journey, you are like a leaf fighting against this current, exhausting yourself in resistance to the very force designed to support you. True surrender is not weakness. It is alignment with infinite power. It requires more courage to release control than to maintain it, more wisdom to trust than to doubt. When you surrender to this higher intelligence, you do not become passive. Rather, you become a conscious participant in the orchestration of universal forces. Your role is not to orchestrate every detail, but to set clear intentions and then allow the universe to arrange the perfect circumstances for their manifestation. This divine intelligence knows paths you cannot see, possibilities you cannot imagine, and solutions beyond your current understanding. In a distant market town, Chester clutched his ledgers with iron determination, attempting to force prosperity through sheer will. Each night he lay awake, calculating, planning, scheming. His business survived but never thrived, like a flower struggling to grow in too tight constraints. One morning, after years of struggle, he discovered ancient writings about surrender. Though skepticism clouded his mind, desperation led him to experiment. Chester began loosening his grip on outcomes. He maintained his work ethic but released his attachment to how results should appear. He stopped forcing opportunities and instead allowed them to emerge naturally. Within months, unexpected partnerships formed. Customers appeared from unanticipated sources. Resources flowed from directions he never would have planned. This teaching reveals a paradox at the heart of manifestation. What you pursue often eludes you, while what you release returns multiplied. Your tight grip on circumstances is like holding water. The harder you squeeze, the less you can hold. Open your hands in trust and watch as the universe fills them with abundance beyond your careful calculations. Every morning, find a quiet moment to whisper these words. I relax into the wisdom that guides my steps perfectly. Let each syllable soften your resistance, allowing divine intelligence to work through you rather than you working against it. Feel the peace that comes with knowing you are supported by forces greater than your fears. Chapter 15. Living from the End. In a village among ancient hills, Lenora sat by her window each morning, gazing at the distant horizon where she believed her dreams would eventually appear. Day after day, she whispered, "Soon my time will come," while her talents lay dormant and her gifts remained unopened. Her life became an endless anticipation, a perpetual waiting for tomorrow's promise. The wisdom of the ages speaks clearly on this matter. Manifestation flows not from waiting, but from being. The universe responds not to what you hope to become, but to what you are in this precious moment. When you live from the end, embodying your desires as though already fulfilled, you transmute waiting into having, tomorrow into now. This sacred truth reveals itself through the tale of Percival, a humble craftsman who understood this principle with remarkable clarity. While others saw him working from a modest workshop, he carried himself with the dignity of a master artisan. He arranged his simple tools as though they were treasured instruments, spoke of his craft with the wisdom of an accomplished mentor, and treated each customer as though his reputation already spanned continents. He did not wait for success to transform his demeanor. He allowed his demeanor to transform his success. Within months, word of his work spread far beyond the village. Distinguished patrons sought his expertise, and his craftsmanship became legendary. The very energy he embodied drew forth its physical equivalent with inevitable precision. Your current state of being is the mold into which tomorrow's experiences must flow. When you wait for circumstances to change before changing yourself, you remain forever in the waiting's shadow. But when you dare to live from the end, to be what you wish to become, the universe has no choice but to reshape itself around your new vibration. This truth transcends mere positive thinking. It calls you to transform waiting into embodiment, to shift from hoping into being. Your desired reality is not a distant shore to be reached, but a frequency to be lived from this moment forward. Look at your life through this lens of wisdom. Where are you waiting instead of being? In what areas have you postponed living until conditions change? The power to manifest lies not in patience, but in presence, in claiming now what you wish to experience. The ancient practice passed down through generations of mystics offers this timeless method. As you prepare for sleep each night, create one vivid scene that captures the essence of your fulfilled desire. Enter this scene not as a visitor, but as its inhabitant. Feel its reality with every sense until it becomes more real than your present circumstances. Let sleep carry this living truth into the depths of your subconscious, where all manifestation begins. This practice, performed with devotion, bridges the gap between waiting and having, between tomorrow and now. Chapter 16. Energy Never Lies. In a small mountain village, Maud stood before her mirror each morning, declaring prosperity affirmations with precise words. Yet her circumstances remained unchanged. Though her lips spoke of abundance, her heart trembled with scarcity. Her hands gestured toward success, but her shoulders carried the weight of doubt. Like many before her, she had discovered that mere words float away like leaves on the wind when they lack the substance of genuine feeling. The ancient wisdom teaches us that the universe responds not to our words, but to our energetic signature. Think of a musical instrument. It matters little what song the musician claims to play if the strings vibrate to a different tune. Your inner vibration is the true language of creation, speaking louder than any verbal declaration could ever manage. When you speak of wealth while harboring poverty consciousness, you create discord in the universal frequency. When you affirm health while clutching illness in your heart, you send mixed signals into the field of infinite possibility. The power lies not in the perfect phrase, but in the perfect alignment between your words and your inner state. Abner, a humble craftsman, understood this truth through experience. For years he had repeated the finest abundance affirmations, yet his workshop remained empty of customers. One dawn, he ceased his mechanical recitations and instead sat quietly, allowing himself to feel the joy of a thriving business. He visualized satisfied customers, felt the weight of earnings in his hands, and experienced the peace of financial security, not as future possibilities, but as present realities. Within days, an unusual shift occurred. Customers began arriving, seemingly guided by an invisible hand. His orders multiplied without effort. The change had nothing to do with his external actions. He had simply aligned his internal frequency with his spoken intentions. This teaching reminds us that manifestation follows feeling. The universe responds not to what we say we want, but to the energy we emit. When your entire being vibrates in harmony with your desires, reality rearranges itself to match that frequency. Think of your energy as a tuning fork. Each thought, each emotion, each belief creates a specific vibration. The law of resonance ensures that similar frequencies are drawn together. Therefore, to manifest any desire, you must first become its energetic equal. The practice. Before any affirmation, pause and feel its truth until your body resonates in alignment. Let the words sink below the surface of conscious thought. Experience the reality of your desire as if it exists now. Only when your entire being hums with the frequency of your intention should you speak it into the universe. Chapter 17. The Echo of Impressions. In a quiet village among ancient hills, Sophronia sat beneath her favorite oak tree, puzzled by life's persistent echoes. Despite her best intentions and countless new beginnings, unwanted experiences kept returning like seasons in an endless cycle. Her relationships followed the same patterns, her work met familiar obstacles, and her dreams seemed trapped in recurring loops. The truth lies not in what you say, but in what you have impressed upon the depths of your being. Each experience carries an emotional charge that etches itself into the fabric of your consciousness. These impressions become templates, silent architects shaping tomorrow's reality. Like a master artist's brush strokes on canvas, your emotional imprints paint the scenes that life reflects back to you. When you touch a hot surface, your body remembers. When you taste something bitter, your taste buds recall. In the same way, your subconscious mind remembers every emotional experience, storing it as a pattern to be repeated. These impressions do not fade with time. They remain active, sending out signals that attract matching circumstances. Consider Mortimer, who once carried the weight of past disappointments in his heart. Each morning, he would wake to memories of loss, unknowingly broadcasting that frequency into his day. His business ventures stalled, his relationships struggled, and happiness seemed forever out of reach. Yet in discovering this truth about impressions, he found his liberation. Mortimer began a practice of deliberate imprinting. Each dawn, before the world stirred, he would sit in silence and summon feelings of joy. He recalled moments of triumph, experiences of pure love, instances when life flowed with grace. He allowed these feelings to sink deeply into his being, creating new emotional grooves for life to follow. Within weeks, his world began to shift. Opportunities appeared that matched his new inner landscape. People responded differently to his presence. Even his face carried a new light, reflecting the joy he had carefully planted within. The universe does not respond to what you want. It responds to what you have become. Your emotional impressions are like seeds planted in fertile soil. Whatever you water with feeling grows into experience. This is why two people can speak the same words but create vastly different results. One speaks from surface thoughts, while the other speaks from deeply impressed conviction. You hold the power to rewrite these impressions. Each moment offers a fresh canvas, an opportunity to imprint new patterns into the substance of your consciousness. As you recognize this truth, you step into your role as the artist of your experience. Ancient practice of impression. Each morning bathe your mind in one joyful memory, imprinting your day before it begins. Let the feeling sink deeply into your being until your entire body resonates with its frequency. This is not mere remembering, it is conscious imprinting, programming the energy that will shape your hours ahead. Chapter 18. The Language of the Body. In a small mountain village, a healer named Fanny spent her days tending to others while harboring deep resentment toward her own physical form. Each morning, she would wake to stiffness and discomfort, viewing these sensations as betrayals by a body that seemed to work against her wishes. Her healing touch brought relief to countless others, yet she remained locked in an internal war with herself. The wisdom of ages teaches us that the body speaks not in rebellion, but in revelation. It serves as a faithful mirror, reflecting back the hidden beliefs and unspoken stories we carry within. Every cell vibrates with the frequency of our thoughts. Every muscle holds the memory of our emotional terrain. What appears as physical limitation often masks a deeper spiritual invitation. When we wage war against our vessel, we perpetuate the very discord we seek to heal. The body responds not to harsh demands, but to the gentle light of understanding. It yearns not for correction, but for connection, not for judgment, but for acceptance. Wilbur, a craftsman whose hands had grown twisted with arthritis, discovered this truth through an unexpected path. For years he had cursed his condition, viewing it as an obstacle to his art. Yet one dawn, as sunlight streamed through his workshop window, he placed his gnarled fingers against smooth wood and whispered words of gratitude instead of grievance. "You have served me faithfully," he said. "You have created beauty for decades. I honor your wisdom and trust your healing." Day by day, Wilbur replaced his inner dialogue of disappointment with one of deep appreciation. He began each morning by blessing his body, acknowledging its intelligence rather than imposing his will upon it. Gradually, his fingers began to loosen. His movements became more fluid, and his craft flowed with renewed grace. The body holds no malice. It simply echoes the vibrations we feed it. When we shift from condemnation to compassion, from resistance to receptivity, we open channels for healing that transcend ordinary understanding. Your physical form stands ready as an ally in your journey, waiting only for the recognition of its sacred role in your evolution. Through reconciliation with your body, you align with the intelligence that created it. Each cell carries the wisdom of the universe. Each breath connects you to the rhythm of life itself. By blessing rather than battling your physical vessel, you initiate a dialogue of healing that ripples through every aspect of your being. Each day, touch your heart gently and say, Thank you, body, for carrying me closer to my destiny. Chapter 19. The Joy Frequency. In a small village among ancient hills, a woman named Clementine carried herself with stern determination. Each morning she would rise before dawn, shoulders squared against life's burdens, believing that only through constant vigilance and serious dedication could she achieve her desires. She scorned those who smiled too freely, viewing their lightness as frivolity in a world that demanded gravity. The universe whispers its truths through every particle of existence. Joy is not merely an emotion, but the very frequency of creation itself. When you align with joy, you align with the original vibration from which all abundance springs. This is not the teaching of idle dreamers, but the fundamental law that governs all manifestation. Watch how children attract what they desire. They do not strain or struggle. They play, laugh, and delight in possibility. Their natural state of joy draws experiences and objects to them with an ease that adults have forgotten. This is not a coincidence, but a demonstration of universal law. Archibald, a merchant who had long believed success required solemn dedication, discovered this truth quite by accident. One spring morning, instead of his usual stern review of accounts, he found himself laughing at a street performer's antics. Something shifted in that moment of pure delight. That afternoon, a chance encounter led to his most profitable partnership. As he allowed more laughter into his days, he noticed doors opening effortlessly. A woman who shared his newfound lightness of spirit entered his life, bringing romance he had never thought possible. The universe responds not to your actions alone, but to the vibrational signature you emit. Joy is the highest frequency you can offer, and like attracts like. When you approach life with genuine delight, you broadcast a signal that magnetizes corresponding experiences. Struggle and strain emit a frequency that actually repels what you seek to attract. Your task is not to deny life's challenges, but to maintain joy as your base frequency regardless of external circumstances. This is not weakness, it is mastery. Joy is not the absence of difficulty, but the presence of alignment with universal forces. When you treat joy as sacred practice, rather than frivolous indulgence, you activate the most powerful manifestation frequency available to human consciousness. The universe cannot help but respond to authentic joy with more reasons for celebration. Practice it. Dedicate at least 5 minutes today to an act that makes you laugh, sealing joy as sacred practice. Whether through play, humor, or simple delight, let genuine joy become your offering to the universe. This is not a distraction from your path. It is the path itself. Chapter 20. Silence the Secret Channel. A young woman named Viola filled every moment of her life with endless distraction. From dawn until dusk, she surrounded herself with the clamor of music, television, and the endless chatter of social media. The noise wrapped around her like a protective blanket, shielding her from what she feared most: the quiet spaces where her thoughts might surface. In the depths of night, when the world grew still, Viola would increase the volume of her devices, desperate to drown out the silence that threatened to engulf her. Yet despite her efforts, exhaustion crept into her bones, and success remained elusive. The universe speaks in whispers, not shouts. This ancient truth echoes through the corridors of time, carried forward by those who have discovered the power of stillness. Your mind, like a lake, reflects truth most clearly when undisturbed by ripples of constant noise. In silence, wisdom flows naturally, bringing answers that logic alone cannot provide. Just as a seed requires the quiet dark of soil to sprout, your innermost knowing emerges in moments of peaceful contemplation. The noise that surrounds you serves as a veil, obscuring the gentle guidance that awaits in stillness. When you release the need for constant stimulation, you open yourself to the subtle frequencies where transformation begins. In a distant village, a merchant named Ezekiel struggled with decisions that plagued his business. Each day he sought advice from countless sources, drowning in opinions and conflicting guidance. Until one morning, rather than rushing to consult others, he sat quietly in his garden. In that peaceful moment, clarity emerged like the first rays of dawn. The answer he sought had been waiting patiently in the silence all along. As Ezekiel made this practice his daily ritual, remarkable changes unfolded. Opportunities appeared at precisely the right moments. Decisions that once seemed impossible became crystal clear. His business flourished not through more action, but through the wisdom gained in stillness. This truth stands eternal. Silence is not an absence, but a presence. It is not empty space to be filled, but fertile ground where intuition blooms. The quiet moments you avoid may hold the very answers you seek. In stillness, the universe speaks its clearest language, not through words, but through the subtle knowing that rises from your depths. Your relationship with silence shapes your relationship with success. When you embrace the quiet, you attune yourself to the frequency where guidance flows freely. The answers you seek often whisper rather than shout, waiting for moments of stillness to make themselves known. Sacred practice. Sit for 10 minutes in stillness, breathing quietly, and allow silence to reveal its voice. Part 3. The Mastery of Creation. Chapter 21. Vision and Vibration. In the quiet dawn, a seamstress named Rosalind sat at her desk each morning, sketching elaborate designs for her dream boutique. Her drawings captured every detail: the storefront's elegant facade, the window displays, even the precise arrangement of fabric rolls. Yet month after month, her vision remained trapped on paper, refusing to materialize in the physical world. When your mental pictures lack emotional energy, they float like shadows without substance. The universe responds not to the precision of your plans, but to the vibrational frequency they generate within you. A vision infused with feeling becomes a magnetic force, drawing its physical counterpart into existence through invisible channels. Your imagination serves as more than a mere sketchbook for possibilities. It functions as a spiritual laboratory where reality takes its first breath. Yet many traverse this sacred territory as tourists rather than creators, observing their dreams from a distance instead of inhabiting them fully. The ancient masters taught that creation flows through two gates, the gate of vision and the gate of feeling. When these forces unite, manifestation accelerates beyond ordinary limits. Your task is not to perfect the picture, but to breathe life into it through the power of emotion. In a bustling city market, a merchant named Horace dreamed of establishing his own trading company. For years, he collected business plans and market research, his vision growing more detailed, but remaining stubbornly distant. Then one morning, rather than simply reviewing his plans, he closed his eyes and allowed himself to feel the satisfaction of success. As he sat in silence, Horace experienced the joy of his fulfilled vision, the pride of seeing his company name above the door, the warmth of shaking hands with satisfied clients, the deep contentment of leading his own enterprise. Within days, a chance encounter opened unexpected doors. A mentor appeared, offering the exact guidance needed. Resources aligned as if orchestrated by an invisible hand. The distinction was subtle, but profound. Horace had shifted from observing his vision to experiencing it. This emotional engagement transformed his dream from a beautiful concept into an energetic blueprint that the universe could follow. Your visions contain seeds of potential, but feeling provides the soil in which they grow. When you marry clear imagery with genuine emotion, you create a vibrational match for your desire. The universe cannot distinguish between a feeling generated by current circumstances and one generated by imagination. It simply responds to the frequency you emit. Avoid the common trap of treating visualization as a mental exercise. Let your dreams touch you deeply. Feel the gratitude, joy, and excitement as if your vision were manifesting now. This emotional current carries more power than all the detailed plans your mind can construct. Sacred practice. Close your eyes daily and marry pictures with feeling until the scene feels inevitable. Chapter 22. The Golden Momentum. A merchant named Tabitha sat in her empty shop, tears welling in her eyes. Each time success seemed within reach, old habits pulled her backward like a relentless tide. Her shoulders slumped under the weight of repeated disappointments, wondering if transformation was merely an illusion. Yet within this moment of despair lies a sacred truth. Progress flows not from forceful leaps, but from the gentle power of persistence. Like water wearing away stone, small actions repeated with unwavering devotion create channels through which abundance naturally flows. The universe responds not to sporadic bursts of effort, but to the steady rhythm of continued practice. This wisdom reveals itself through the tale of Phineas, a humble scribe who once believed his dreams required Herculean effort. Each morning and evening, he would whisper to himself, "I am becoming more prosperous with each passing day." At first, the words felt hollow, merely sounds against silence. Yet he continued, allowing each repetition to sink deeper into his consciousness. Days turned to weeks, and something remarkable began to unfold. Small opportunities appeared, a chance meeting, an unexpected referral, a timely conversation. These moments, seemingly insignificant alone, began weaving together into a tapestry of success. Without straining or forcing, Phineas found himself carried forward by an invisible current of prosperity. As his practice deepened, the affirmations transformed from mere words into living truth. His business flourished, relationships deepened, and abundance flowed with an ease that surpassed all his previous struggles. The victory came not from intensity, but from the quiet power of persistence. This tale illuminates an eternal truth. Momentum, once established in golden practice, carries you further than any amount of sporadic effort. Like a wheel gathering speed, each small turn builds upon the last until movement becomes effortless. The universe responds not to intensity, but to consistency, not to force, but to faith expressed through patient practice. Your journey mirrors this truth. Each backward step is not failure, but rather the natural rhythm of growth. Just as the ocean pulls back before each powerful wave, temporary retreat often precedes profound advancement. The key lies not in avoiding these cycles, but in maintaining steady practice through them. Sacred practice. Choose one phrase that resonates with your deepest truth. For 7 consecutive days, speak it aloud both morning and evening. Notice how each repetition carries you deeper into its meaning, like a stone dropping through still waters. Let each day's practice build upon the last, creating an unstoppable current of transformation. The power lies not in perfection, but in persistence. Chapter 23. The Soul's Compass. In a small mountain village, a weaver named Harriet sat surrounded by countless spools of thread, each a different hue and texture. Each morning she faced the same challenge: which colors to choose, which patterns to weave. The more she analyzed, the more paralyzed she became, until her loom stood silent and her creativity withered. The universe speaks in whispers, not shouts. When you stand at life's crossroads, the mind presents endless possibilities, each backed by careful reasoning. Yet beneath the noise of logic lies a deeper knowing, a voice that requires no justification. This inner compass points not through debate or discussion, but through peace. When aligned with truth, the heart rests in quiet certainty. When misaligned, subtle tension arises, however convincing the rational arguments may seem. Lafayette, a merchant in a bustling port city, discovered this truth through experience. Each morning, traders presented him with seemingly profitable ventures, each supported by charts and projections. Yet rather than analyzing endlessly, he learned to pause and sense which opportunities carried an inexplicable rightness. One day, against all market predictions, he felt drawn to invest in a small fleet of fishing boats. His business partners questioned his judgment. Larger vessels promised greater returns, but the peaceful certainty remained. Within months, when larger ships couldn't access newly discovered fishing grounds in shallow waters, his small fleet prospered beyond imagination. More remarkable still was how this inner guidance led him to love. At a grand social gathering, while others advised him to court a wealthy heiress, his heart pulled him toward a quiet bookkeeper's daughter. Their marriage brought him joy that no fortune could match. The intellect sees only what is visible: numbers, facts, surface logic. But the soul's compass reads invisible currents. It knows which path carries your highest good, which choice resonates with your deeper purpose. This knowledge requires no debate, no endless weighing of options. It speaks in the language of peace. You already possess this infallible guidance system. When you release the need to rationalize every decision, when you trust the direction that brings inner quiet, you align with forces greater than logic alone can grasp. The universe conspires to support choices made from this place of deep knowing. Your task is not to figure everything out, but to attune yourself to this subtle guidance. Like a sailor learning to read the stars, you must develop trust in this inner navigation. Each time you honor these gentle nudges, your confidence in their wisdom grows stronger. Pause 3 times today and ask inwardly, what direction feels alive with peace? Follow without debate. Chapter 24. Time as Servant. In a small village among ancient hills, Josephine paced anxiously beneath the tower clock, her heart racing with each rhythmic tick. Every glance at the timepiece deepened her conviction that life was slipping through her fingers like grains in an hourglass. Her dreams felt distant, her goals unreachable, all because time seemed to rush past her with merciless speed. Yet within the weathered chapters of wisdom lies a truth that transcends the mechanical march of minutes. Time itself is but a servant to the energy we hold within. When you release the grip of urgency and step into alignment with universal flow, minutes and hours bend to serve your highest good. The illusion of time's scarcity dissolves when you recognize that creation flows not through the ticking of clocks, but through the vibration of your being. Each moment expands or contracts according to the energy you carry. In resistance and fear, time becomes a tyrant. In trust and alignment, it transforms into a loyal ally. Augustus, a merchant who once raced against deadlines and appointments, discovered this sacred truth during a period of forced stillness. When illness confined him to his bed, he had no choice but to surrender his rigid schedules. In that surrender, he witnessed something remarkable. Opportunities he had chased desperately began flowing to him effortlessly. Business deals resolved themselves with perfect timing. Resources appeared precisely when needed. "I spent years battling time," Augustus later shared with wonder in his eyes. "Only when I ceased this battle did I discover time was never my enemy." This truth echoes across ages. Time is not a limited resource to be hoarded or feared, but a dynamic force that responds to your inner state. When you vibrate with trust rather than urgency, with acceptance rather than resistance, time reshapes itself around your desires. Consider how often worrying about time creates the very delays you fear. Your anxiety about being late manifests traffic jams. Your stress about deadlines breeds obstacles and complications. Yet when you move in harmony with divine timing, paths clear mysteriously, and everything aligns with supernatural precision. The universe operates not by the tick of mechanical clocks, but by the rhythm of divine orchestration. Your role is not to force this orchestration, but to align with it. When you trust in perfect timing, you tap into a flow that transcends human schedules. Throughout your days, whenever urgency rises or panic about time grips your heart, pause and remember, time is your servant, not your master. It bends and flows according to the energy you hold. Release the need to control its passage and watch as events align themselves in ways your planning could never achieve. As you step into each moment, whisper softly, "Time serves me. All unfolds with perfect timing." Let these words dissolve the illusion of scarcity and open you to the abundance of divine timing that awaits. Chapter 25. The Unseen Bank. In a small village among rolling hills, Esmeralda paced her modest home each night, watching her dwindling savings with mounting anxiety. Her fingers traced endless calculations on scraps of paper, her mind spinning tales of future hardship. Each coin spent felt like a precious drop of water in an endless desert. The universe operates through an eternal law of abundance. Like an infinite reservoir of water that feeds countless streams, prosperity flows ceaselessly through all creation. Your task is not to create abundance, for it already exists in boundless measure, but to align yourself with its natural current. Just as the air you breathe is limitless, so too is the universal supply of all good things. yet many stand gasping, convinced there is not enough air to go around. They create barriers of belief that block the very abundance trying to reach them. Thaddeus, a humble craftsman, discovered this truth during the harshest winter his region had known. While others hoarded and fretted, he chose a different path. Each morning, he would touch the coins in his pocket and whisper, "Thank you for the endless flow of prosperity." He continued his work with peaceful certainty, knowing that universal supply could never truly run dry. Within weeks, mysterious shifts began occurring. A forgotten debt was repaid. A wealthy merchant commissioned a large order. A relative gifted him an unexpected inheritance. Money flowed to him through channels he could never have planned or predicted. The difference lay not in external circumstances, but in Thaddeus's inner relationship with abundance. He had opened himself to receive what was always there, waiting. Like a plant turning toward sunlight, he aligned himself with the natural flow of prosperity. This ancient truth speaks directly to your current experience. When you worry about lack, you create resistance in the very channel through which abundance wishes to flow. Your belief in scarcity becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, blocking the infinite supply that seeks expression through your life. The vault of universal abundance stands open before you. Its contents are limitless, its supply eternal. Your task is not to create what you need, but to withdraw what already exists through the currency of unshakable belief. The universe operates with mathematical precision. When you align your thoughts and feelings with abundance, you activate the law that governs all supply. This is not magical thinking. It is the practical application of universal principle. Each night before sleep, allow these words to sink deeply into your consciousness. I am connected to infinite supply, and it flows freely to me now. Let this truth permeate every cell of your being until you feel its reality more vividly than any temporary appearance of lack. Chapter 26. Love as Magnetism. In a quiet village at the edge of a verdant forest, Lucretia spent her days tending to her garden, yet the flowers seemed to bloom more freely than connections in her life. Each morning, she would dress with care, attend social gatherings, and offer kind words to everyone she met. Still, meaningful relationships remained elusive, slipping through her fingers like morning mist. The universe operates through invisible currents of energy, and love flows as naturally as water downstream when we remove the dams of fear and effort. Your attempts to be noticed stem from a belief in separation, yet the truth lies in recognizing that love is not something to chase. It is your natural state of being. When you strain to attract love, you unknowingly broadcast a frequency of lack. This energy creates a subtle barrier, pushing away the very connections you seek. The law of attraction responds not to your actions, but to your electromagnetic signature. A heart that believes in its own completeness naturally draws others into its orbit. Think of a flower in full bloom. It does not strain to attract bees. Its very nature, its authentic expression of beauty and nectar, creates an irresistible invitation. You are that flower, complete and perfect in your natural state. Gideon discovered this truth after years of pursuing relationships through calculated efforts. He attended every social event, mastered conversation skills, and yet authentic connection eluded him. One day, while sitting in peaceful solitude, he realized that his constant reaching outward reflected a belief that love was somewhere else, not within. He began a practice of self-acceptance, embracing his own company with genuine joy. Rather than filling his calendar with activities designed to meet others, he pursued interests that truly sparked his passion. In his pottery studio, lost in the creative flow, he forgot about his search for connection. And then, as naturally as sunrise follows dawn, people began gravitating toward his authentic energy. Within months, Gideon found himself surrounded by kindred spirits who appreciated him not for his efforts to be liked, but for his genuine self-expression. Love flowed not because he chased it, but because he had become a clear channel for its natural expression. Your journey mirrors this eternal truth. Love multiplies when you recognize it as your core essence rather than an external achievement. When you cease striving and start being, you align with the magnetic force that governs all creation. Every heart holds this power, the ability to attract through authentic resonance rather than calculated pursuit. The practice of self-embrace serves as a powerful ritual to shift your energy from seeking to attracting. Wrap your arms around yourself daily while softly affirming, "I radiate love, and love returns to me multiplied." This gesture awakens the magnetic force within, transforming you into a natural beacon for the connections your heart desires. Chapter 27. Awakening the Inner Child. In a small cottage at the edge of a bustling town, Selma moved through her days with mechanical precision. Her schedule was a fortress of routines, each hour mapped with unwavering certainty. She measured success by tasks completed, efficiency achieved, and order maintained. Yet, beneath this carefully constructed armor, a quiet emptiness grew. The universe speaks not just through discipline, but through the sacred language of play. When wonder dims and joy retreats, even the most dedicated efforts yield lesser fruits. Your spirit yearns for moments of pure, unbridled delight, not as escape, but as essential nourishment for the soul. Within every heart lies a wellspring of natural magic, waiting to bubble forth through laughter and spontaneous expression. This power awakens when you release the grip of constant control and allow yourself to dance with life's rhythm. The law of attraction responds most powerfully to the vibration of joy that emerges through play. Barnabas, a merchant known for his serious demeanor, discovered this truth unexpectedly. One morning, caught in the rain without an umbrella, instead of hurrying for shelter, he surprised himself by spinning in circles, arms outstretched, face tilted toward the sky. That moment of abandoned play shifted something profound within him. In the following weeks, his previously struggling business transformed. New partnerships emerged effortlessly. Creative solutions appeared spontaneously, and abundance flowed with surprising ease. When you approach life with childlike wonder, you align with the universe's natural state of infinite possibility. Play is not frivolous. It is a powerful force that dissolves resistance and opens channels for manifestation. Through play, you release the weight of overthinking and enter a state of pure allowing. Your analytical mind may resist this truth, arguing that serious goals require serious methods. Yet the universe operates through joy. When you embrace playful spirit, you tap into the same creative force that spins galaxies and paints butterflies' wings. This energy knows no limits, recognizes no obstacles, and manifests with remarkable speed. Watch young children at play. They shift effortlessly between imagined realities, believing fully in each one. This same flexible consciousness is your natural state. Through play, you remember how to move between possibilities with fluid ease, unfettered by doubt or rigid thinking. The secret lies not in abandoning responsibility, but in infusing your pursuits with lightness and wonder. Let your work become play, your challenges become adventures, your goals become invitations to explore. When you approach manifestation with playful spirit, the universe mirrors back this joyful energy in magnificent ways. Set aside a moment to play today, sing, dance, or doodle, awakening the radiant child within. Chapter 28. The Fire of Decision. Once, in a sunlit valley, there lived a weaver named Clarabelle, who sat before her loom each morning, paralyzed by countless choices of thread and pattern. Her tapestries remained unfinished, each thread waiting for her trembling hand to make its mark. Days turned to weeks as she pondered every possible combination, fearing that one wrong choice would ruin the entire work. The truth of creation lies not in endless contemplation, but in the sacred fire of decision. When you stand at the crossroads of choice, the universe awaits your command with infinite patience. Yet it is only through the flame of decisive action that the waters of manifestation begin to flow. Your power does not rest in perpetual consideration. It ignites in the moment you plant your flag in the soil of certainty. Each decision sends ripples through the fabric of reality, instructing the universal mind to arrange circumstances in alignment with your choice. Indecision creates a fog where nothing can take root, but clarity cuts through confusion like sunlight through morning mist. In the marketplace of a distant city, a merchant named Quincy spent years watching opportunities pass by, always waiting for perfect certainty. His shelves held dreams instead of wares, and his ledgers remained empty of profit. Then, one morning, as the sun painted the sky in decisive strokes of gold, he made a choice that would alter his destiny. "I choose this path," he declared, selecting his trade with unwavering certainty. He committed his resources to importing spices from distant lands, no longer splitting his focus between countless possibilities. That very evening, a stranger appeared at his door with news of a trade route opening to the east. Within days, connections materialized that had seemed impossible for years. His decisive energy had cut through the fog of hesitation, and the universe responded with swift precision. This tale mirrors the eternal truth. The universe does not reward those who forever weigh options. It moves in response to those who dare to choose. Your decisions are like arrows shot from the bow of intention. Without release, even the finest arrow cannot find its mark. When you find yourself caught in the web of endless possibilities, remember that power lies not in perfect choice, but in clear choice. The energy of decision itself holds more power than the specific path chosen. As water flows through the channel cut deepest, so too does life force flow through the paths carved by decisive action. Ancient practice. Stand before your day, and when uncertainty clouds your path, speak these words with the power of one who commands reality. I decide. I claim. I create. Feel each word as a pulse of energy moving through you, cutting through confusion like a blade through silk. Let your voice carry the weight of finality. For in this moment, you are not merely speaking. You are shaping the very substance of your reality. Chapter 29. Infinite Identity. In a small seaside village, Matilda spent her days defining herself through carefully constructed boxes. "I'm just a waitress," she would say, or "I'm only good at following orders." Each label she accepted became a wall, hemming in her potential like a garden overgrown with thorns. The wisdom of ages teaches us that identity is not a fixed point, but a constellation of infinite possibilities. Your self-image acts as a blueprint that the universe faithfully reproduces in physical form. When you declare "I am," the cosmic forces align to manifest that declaration, whether it limits or liberates. Think of your identity as water. It can take any shape, yet many freeze themselves into rigid forms through habitual self-definition. The universe responds not to what you want to become, but to who you believe you are in this moment. This truth echoes through the ages. Your current experience mirrors your deepest self-perception. Ulysses, a fisherman's son, lived this transformation. For years he saw himself as the village failure, the one who could never succeed at business. His cousin Cornelia watched as he shuffled through life, head bowed, accepting scraps of opportunity. Then, one stormy night, while securing boats at the harbor, Ulysses instinctively took charge during a crisis. In that moment, he glimpsed himself anew. Instead of retreating to his familiar identity, Ulysses began seeing himself as a natural leader. He stopped prefacing his words with apologies. He walked differently, spoke differently, made decisions with quiet authority. Within months, the village council sought his advice on maritime matters. A year later, he owned the largest fishing fleet in the region. The fishing boats didn't suddenly appear because Ulysses worked harder. They manifested because he fundamentally shifted who he believed himself to be. The universe simply matched his new self-image with corresponding circumstances. Your identity is not carved in stone, but written in sand at the edge of an infinite ocean. Each moment offers a fresh chance to redraw these lines. The labels you accept today need not bind you tomorrow. Whether you see yourself as victor or victim, student or master, limited or limitless, life will organize itself to confirm your chosen identity. The transformative truth stands clear. You are not merely what you have been, but what you dare to become. Each new "I am" statement plants a seed in the fertile soil of infinite possibility. The universe asks not for permission to expand you, but for your willingness to expand yourself. Through this ancient practice of conscious identity formation, you participate in your own recreation. The power to redefine yourself exists in every breath, every choice, every moment of awareness. Stand before the mirror of your consciousness and speak your chosen identity into being. Let old definitions dissolve like morning mist before the rising sun of your expanding awareness. Gently affirm, "I am free to reinvent myself endlessly." Chapter 30. Creation without effort. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, Zipporah toiled endlessly at her merchant stall, muscles aching from the constant strain of trying to make her business thrive. Each evening she would count her meager earnings and wonder why prosperity eluded her despite her relentless efforts. Her hands were calloused from labor, her spirit worn from the endless push against invisible barriers. The ancient wisdom speaks of a truth that many find difficult to embrace. Creation flows not from the sweat of your brow, but from the alignment of your spirit with universal forces. When you cease struggling against the current, and instead allow yourself to be carried by it, life's abundance naturally finds its way to you. This truth reveals itself in layers. First comes the recognition that exhaustion is not a badge of honor, but a sign of misalignment. Your natural state is one of ease, where inspiration guides action and results flow without depleting your vital force. The universe does not demand your suffering as payment for its gifts. Ezekias, a potter in a distant valley, embodied this transformation. For years he had pushed himself to craft more vessels, working from dawn until his fingers cramped in the darkness. Yet success remained elusive, slipping through his grasp like water through cracks. One morning, as sunlight streamed through his workshop window, he realized the futility of his struggle. In that moment of surrender, he chose a different path. Instead of forcing himself to work longer hours, he began listening to the quiet whispers of inspiration. He crafted only when his heart felt light, moved only when intuition guided his hands. A curious thing happened. His pottery took on a grace that seemed to flow from some unseen source. Collectors began seeking his work, offering prices that exceeded his previous month's earnings. In 3 moons' time, his gentle approach had manifested more abundance than years of striving. The truth stands clear. When you align with the natural flow of creation, results multiply effortlessly. Force creates resistance, while alignment opens channels through which abundance naturally flows. Your role is not to exhaust yourself in pursuit of your desires, but to position yourself in harmony with the universal current that carries all good things to their rightful place. Look at the river. It does not strain to reach the ocean. It simply flows in accordance with natural law, letting gravity guide its journey. Similarly, your creations need not emerge from struggle. They manifest most powerfully when you allow yourself to be carried by the invisible tide of universal wisdom. This ancient practice beckons you to embrace ease as your natural state of creation. Each morning, as the sun paints the sky with new promise, speak these words with gentle authority. I create in ease. What is mine comes with grace. Let this truth sink into your being until you feel its resonance in every cell. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. Through these 30 chapters, you have uncovered the architecture of creation itself. What began as tentative steps into the realm of thought has blossomed into mastery of the invisible forces that shape reality. Each teaching has built upon the last, forming a bridge between ancient wisdom and your emerging power. You witnessed Lucinda transform self-doubt into certainty, Henrietta transmute anger into guidance, and Winifred redirect focus from fear to possibility. Through their journeys, your own path is illuminated. Each character's breakthrough mirrored potential within you, showing how rapidly life responds when inner frequency aligns with desire. The practices offered were not mere exercises. They were keys unlocking doors in consciousness. From morning gratitude to evening visualization, from mirror work to moments of sacred silence, each ritual reinforced neural pathways of abundance. You learned that manifestation accelerates when emotion infuses intention, when faith becomes substance, when surrender replaces struggle. The law of attraction has revealed itself as neither magic nor mystery, but as a precise science of consciousness. Like gravity, it operates without fail, responding not to wishes, but to the unwavering signal of your dominant vibration. You have seen how Ezekias, Cornelius, and countless others demonstrated its reliability through their transformations. Your mind now holds new circuitry, pathways of possibility where limitations once stood. You understand that creation flows not from effort, but from alignment, not from pushing, but from allowing. The universe's abundance moves through open channels, and you have learned to keep those channels clear through practiced awareness. The choice now rests in your hands. Each morning brings a fresh opportunity to align with abundance. Each moment offers a chance to choose again. You have witnessed how swiftly circumstances can shift when internal frequency matches desired outcome. That initial fear of rapid manifestation has transformed into excited anticipation of life's natural flow. This power is not external to you. It is the very essence of who you are. Every thought sends ripples through the field of infinite possibility. Every feeling magnetizes its matching experience. Every moment of alignment draws your good closer with lightning speed. The principles contained in these chapters are your inheritance, the natural laws of a universe designed for your expansion. Their truth lives now in your cells, activated by practice, proven through experience.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.